Hi guys, so welcome to another episode of Singly Parenting, and like I said, leo niko Ruaka, and I'm gonna interview one Mr. Kevin Maywaka, who also happens to be my lovely cousin, and he's gonna take us through the real estate business and the barbershop business. So kama kawaida, I am your host Zoe'ivy. Keep it locked, we have good things coming. Alright, so this is Kevo. Ebu ambia wajama kitu kidogo kukuhusu.
My name is Kevin Oyoko Maywaka. I'm the director of Courtland Realtors Limited. Courtland Realtors Limited is a startup company that I started last year, March, and I'm very happy because it's growing day by day. So real estate business, it involves three things. Number one is about property management. Number two is property letting, and number three is property selling, and also something that I've invested and I'm doing is property consultancy in terms of investment. So basically that is what I do.
What? Wajama. Mimi nimeanza kufloat. Okay, tuanze na real estate, tutaongea juu ya barbershop baadaye. So, Ebu break it down, the three key factors umetuambia. Break it down kidogo. Ndio ule mtu is really vague about this, like me tunaweza kuelewa.
Okay, basically what I mean is that real estate has three components. And the first component, as I said, is property management. Property management is a process whereby, as an agent, you go to source houses like apartments, bungalows, mansionettes. You talk to the owners and you manage on behalf of them. Number one, by collecting rent. Number two is by handling tenants' complaints. Number three is PR between the tenants and also the landlords. And also something that is also in property management is about the issue of garbage collection and also water management. So basically you ensure that you collect timely rent and you update statement which you send to the landlords, and you earn a commission. Commissions, they range between 5 to 10%. When you go to property letting, this is a process whereby you go looking for houses that are vacant, that in need for tenants. What basically many of you know known as house hunting. So this is a process. You get a tenant, you advertise through platform like Facebook, you advertise through GG, you advertise through Buy Rent Kenya. And in turn you get people who are interested, then you take them around. The property that a client will be interested, you then go to the owner and you discuss about the payments of deposit, rent, water, and any other bills. So once the client has settled all the payments, you get a commission. Commissions, they range between 10%, 20, 30, 50, even to 100%. Property selling, this is also another process whereby you source properties on behalf of the owners and you sell them. In turn, you get a percentage of 3%, which is a standard price. So basically, that's maybe what entails the 3 components.
And 24 components number 2. When you're sourcing customers from this social media platform, especially GG and Pigiami, we usually have now people in your line of business who advertise, and then when you call them, they tell you for you to be able to view this property, you have to pay an agency fee. And most of them, after you pay, according to what I've done, according to research, unapata their con men. You either pay, they take you to that house. Kuna wale wanakoniwanga to an extent, they pay even the deposit. Siku ya kumove in, they come and find out, huyo mtu hata hajulikani. So what can you say about that now that you're in that line of business?
Basically, what I can say is that as an agent who has an experience for a period of 6 years now, what you are advising people and other clients at large is that when you are sourcing for a property, for maybe a property like a house that you want to live in, like maybe say like a 1-bedroom, a bed-sitter, a 3-bedroom, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to go, either you can go through online, or you can get a referral, or you can do a search by yourself. But mostly we advise people to look for a professional agent. Once you go to online and you find a property that you're interested in, number 1, you are supposed to find who is advertising that property. Get the details. Once you are satisfied and you know that this property has been advertised by this particular agent, make sure that you set up a meeting. Once you set up a meeting, you have to ensure that this agent is a person who has a physical office. A physical office means that in case anything go wrong, you can able to go to that place and get solutions. So in this business, there's a lot of conmanship. So if you want to avoid that, make sure that you identify a specific person and you go yourself to those particular houses. Once you've established that this is the house that I want, number 1, you ask the details of the property. That is, who is the owner, number 1, who is the managing agent. Now when you get all those details, then you ask, now once you've decided to make the payment, ensure that they have what we call the tenancy agreement. Tenancy agreement is a document that has details that it involves, like the agreements in terms of where are you paying, number 1, what's the lease period, and then number 3, the details between your details, the landlord's details, and the agent's details. So once you satisfy everything, you can now then make payments, because we have realized situation where people are making payments to the wrong people.
Yeah, true,
it is because they did not follow the due process. Yes.
So I think what Kevo is saying is, once you identify a house and you identify an agent online, first ensure he's legit. So get the details of that person, make sure he has an office. When you go to that office, do not make any payment, from what I understood. And then after you see the house and you want to make any payment, make sure you get the tenants agreement and validate all the details that are in that document. Yes. So,
and do not send money to individuals.
Do not send money to, and I think actually most you ask for receipts. What will Lizangi receipts?
No, even receipts are fake. So what you are saying that don't be in a rush to make payments.
Oh yeah.
There are those people who will tell you, oh, this house many people have seen. In fact, somebody is sending money right now. Can you send immediately? Once you see those red flags, just know that these are common.
Actually mimi nilifanywa hivyo. You call them, alafu atakwambia hata kuna mama mwingine ametoka hapa sahi, usipotuma yeye atalipa. Alafu when they tell you to go view the house, they will keep you there for hours and they will not show up. Then kitu pia ni
maybe another point that I can add is that online you will get some people have posted very beautiful pictures of a property, but indeed that property is not existing, and most will find that they have done a lower pricing. to entice you.
Yes.
So when you come to the ground, you see different. So ensure that you go to the physical ground and see. Because if you see good pictures and you are enticed and the agent is telling you pay, and you have not seen something that you are paying, that's how that's how you end up being duped.
So we come to what motivated you to venture into real estate. And knowing your history, at some point you were employed by a different company.
Yes. So real estate, I have been in real estate for the past 6 years. The way I ventured in it was by accident. So I was working with a certain company called Samchi Telecoms. Samchi Telecom is a dealership company with Safaricom. So that company, we were all fired. Okay. So I was in charge of marketing. So a friend who was my junior invited me to come to Ruaka for an interview. That was a real estate company called Villa Greens Limited. Is how I joined the real estate. I was able to pass the interview and I started working. So I've been in that company for the past 5 years. That's how I got the experience. But things started going wrong. Is whereby you are not being paid on time, and when you do business on commissions, your commissions are not coming. So I know there's a problem in terms of maybe when you want to leave employment to go to private business, you find it very difficult. But I got motivated is that with this experience, why can't I start my own? So that's how the dream of Courtland Realtors Limited was born, and I'm very, very happy because I'm still nurturing this dream.
Now, key for someone who wants to venture into real estate, what are the key factors to consider? The main points.
So number one, basically, like I want to state clearly is that when you are employed and you want to leave your employment to a private business, it is not very easy, because number one, you are going to a field whereby there is no monthly pay slip. And remember, you have bills to sort out. You have your house rent, you have food, you have clothing, you have family. They are looking upon you. So it means that you have to do a proper planning. Like for me, I did not just say that I want to start this business. There was prior planning, because when you start a business, you have to give it 6 months for you to realize the earnings, because you cannot start a business then you expect that business to start paying your bills. That one, if you doesn't do very well, it will put you into depression. So what I did my calculation. I say that I'm paying my rent, I'm paying those. I calculated all the bills at my expenditure in my house. I find out that I have to reserve like 80,000 shillings. So that one I've covered rent, I've covered everything for a period of 3 months. So I reserved 80,000. I came to now, because this company, you have to have a physical office for people to trust you. So I decided that I'm going to look for a space that is not going to be expensive. So I got a space where I'm paying 12,000. So I calculated an expenditure of 3 months, that is the 6,000 and other deposit and furnitures. So I had an amount of, let's say, like 70,000. Then another amount of like logistics and like maybe miscellaneous. So once I did that budget and I say that this is now the budget that I have, is when I say now I can go. So I did a resignation letter in February, and I told my bosses that I'm going to work for you in the month of February, and I will not charge you for my services. So once I did that, I left that company with blessings.
Yeah.
They are owing me a lot of money, but I said to myself that I'm not going to dwell with the past. So I left them in good hands, and I did all my accountability. I did all my reports, my handover reports, and they prayed for me, and I left, knowing that I have my budget. I have set out what I need to start. So now I started looking for office. I started registrations. Within that month of February, in March, I started. March 5th, the office was up and running. So now you can see I have a budget I have done an expenditure of 3 months.
Over 200.
Oh yeah, of 3 months at my home, 3 months in my office, and the other expenditure. So you can see, as I started this business, there was no pressure on me.
Yes.
Are you getting it? So anything that I get, I used to save it. If I make 5,000, account straight. I make 2,000, account straight. I make 1,000, account straight. Any amount that I make, I will save it, because I have already catered for all my expenditures. So I'm not depending on this business to pay my bills for the first 3 months. So once the 3 months lapsed, you see, when I go to that account that I have been saving, there is another money that you can take me to another 2 months. So that is how I picked up. So coming to your question, what are the factors that you need to put in place?
Planning is key. Budgeting.
Yes. Number one is planning.
Stop a
Planning is it will kill what you call the fear of unknown. Number one, planning. Number two is budgeting. And then number three, know what you want. Basically, those are things that will drive you.
Well, so Meskia, number one. I want to look at you people. Number one, you have to plan yourself. Usianze to be ashara. Let me just say kiumalenge, and I think that's a problem that most of us have. Number two, you have to budget. And I think the problem with, and three, kwanza kitu nimelan very important, wherever you're working, usitoke na ubaya. And I think most Kenyans who want to venture into business, huwa unachoma inside, because now you feel like umefika somewhere. So what I'm learning from Kevo is, live where you're working with blessings.
Now I want to tell you that as per now, I don't regret leaving the employment, coming to the private business, because where I was working, I was earning like 30,000, but it was not really sustaining my life, and it was not paying my bills well. So I had to do some other extra hustle so that to be able to cut some expenditures. But basically now I can see that my business is doing very well. I'm earning like double what I was getting where I was employed. So what is making me to prosper and what is making me to do well is, number one is I have what you call financial discipline. Financial discipline is whereby this business, you have to know that you doesn't have a paycheck or a pay slip at the end of the month. So any money that you make on daily basis, you have to do percentage. This percentage is going to saving account, this percentage is going to foot up or to
the
pay
input of the business.
Yeah, the input of the business and even other expenditures. So you make sure that any money that you make on daily basis, there is a saving plan for
it's accounted.
So that by the end of the month, you go to that pot. I normally call it pot, nyungu. Nyungu. Yani ukipata kitu unatumbukiza pale. Ukipata kitu unatumbukiza pale. Unatumbukiza unafunga. Unatumbukiza unafunga. Sio unatumbukiza tena unafunga unatoa. So hiyo nyungu umeiweka mahali. So mwisho wa mwezi unaenda pale penye umeweka nyungu yako, unafungua, unapata kuna kitu yenye iko pale kwa nyungu yenye umeweka for a period of 1 month. So hiyo ndio pay slip yako.
Yeah. Because
hii pesa ya real estate ni kama pesa ya makanga. Makanga akipata pesa yake leo 1,000 anakula yote. Anasema kesho nyingine mimi nitakuwa na pesa nyingine. So utakuwa unafanya hivyo, unafanya hivyo. By the end of the month hauna kitu yenye uko na.
Yeah.
Kitu yenye uko na. So when you have financial discipline, hiyo nyungu yako unaenda unatoa pale. Unasema sasa hii ni ya nyumba, hii ni ya house rent, hii ni ya food, hii ni ya medical, hii ni ya saving, hii ni ya other logistics. Hiyo mwezi umemalizana nayo. Unaenda mwezi mwingine.
So it's more of financial discipline.
So basically I can say that this business is a very good business. I don't regret venturing in it. It has really molded me as a person, and I have a lot of hopes, and I know that Courtland Realtors Limited is going to be household name in the next 5 years.
And as we close on this, do you have manpower?
Yeah, so in terms of the manpower, when you are starting for a company, don't employ a lot of people at once. Do some models, so that you don't have a lot of expenditures. So what I've done, I have a friend of mine who is also one of my partner. So he does what he call management sourcing. Management sources, I have already explained earlier that you have to go out there looking for properties to manage on behalf of the owner. So this guy will wake up in the morning, go to field, but in turn he earns commissions. We don't have fixed salaries because we are a startup company. When you are a startup companies, you need to plan the human resource management very well. If you doesn't plan, it will come to haunt you, because if you doesn't have income to pay your people, it will bring chaos. So for instance, for me, I don't have people that I'm saying that I've employed, they are getting monthly salary. No, we have people that are getting commissions. You bring business, you get your cut, you go. You bring business, you get your cut, you go. But now, as the company is growing, when we get good number of management, we can now get people to come and work on them. So we are giving ourselves like a period of 3 years or 2 years after you have done a lot of immense management sourcing. We will be able to get people who can work on those management, so they will be earning salaries now.
And if someone calls you and they want to look at a property and you're not on the ground, so do you have like should we call them a foreman?
What we do is when somebody calls me online, maybe I'm not around, I have people who can do that job, and that's what I'm telling you. Those are what we call ground agents, whom we have partnership. So once you refer that client to him, you're able to take that client to wherever the client wants to see the properties, and if the business goes through, that person has a commission.
And if you're the one when you umempeleka na amechukua hao ndo yote ni yako?
Ndo yote ni yangu.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, in this business about networking, you cannot do it on your own. You have to network with other people, make friends. And for me, what is working is that, number one, I've invested heavily in online marketing. I have a Facebook page that is called Courtland Realtors Limited. You go there, get all the properties that you want. I've also invested in billboards and posters around Ruaka, so that when people who are walking around, they can able to see that this company is here.
Before you go far, billboards, how much are you paying for that?
Currently, we are paying to the county government. You can pay a fee of 6,000 annually. But then the big billboard, that is very expensive, that is 100,000. That one we cannot afford. So we are mainly dealing with the county government. So those one are very also good, although they are being referred old-fashioned, but it's not old-fashioned because there are those people who are not
still
online.
Working.
There are those people who are not online. So when they are passing by, or those who are just coming to work for the first time, when they see your poster and they are looking for a house, they will call you. So it's also working. Another part that has really helped me to get a lot of business about referrals. People that I assisted to get houses, they refer a lot of clients to me, and that's why the customer service come in. Customer service is key to any business. Customer experience is another component that any business you need to involve. If you focus on your customer, if you treat your customer very well, that customer will always refer business to you. And that's why for me, I normally say that a well-served customer is a walking marketer.
A well-served customer is a walking marketer.
Yes.
Wow. Now, we want to leave it on that high note. So what is like the registration process? What certificates are needed? And which office of the government can someone go to in order to finish this whole registration process?
Okay, thank you very much. That is a good question. So is that in terms of registration, for me, I decided to use another person because I was so busy. I was running up and down, putting things in order. So what you need to do, if you want to register a company, you can do it by yourself if you have time, or you can use another person, especially these accountants. They are trained in company registration. So if you want to do it by yourself, you can just open a e-account, e-citizen account. Everything is there. You, in terms of name search, which is 150 shillings, and then you go to other registration that you be charged, I think 10,300. Yes. So me, I use a person who was able to do that work for me for a sum of 15,000, and it was done in 3 days. My certificate was delivered here. And as you can see, it's there.
Yeah,
so it gives a good image to this company. If a client comes in my office and he sees the documents, he has the confidence in me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, for registration, you can go to eCitizen.
Yeah.
And follow the prompts. And then I think you can also go to KRA. Sindo?
Yeah.
Pale Huduma Center.
Yes.
I think KRA.
Any office,
government office,
yeah, they will assist you.
Yes, Huduma Center pale town around GPO, they can actually also help you. Now, what are the challenges so far with the real estate business?
Okay, so for me, one thing that it brought some challenges. You can see I started my company March 2020. So after some days of now trying to put things in order, Corona, the pandemic.
Yeah.
So the pandemic was one of the worst problem that came to disrupt the business, because you can see that once people are losing jobs, people are losing income,
people are moving houses to cheaper ones.
Yeah, so you find that the business experience a lot of problems. Another challenge that I faced is in terms of like what we are saying, a component of property selling. You will find that most of people are not buying houses, so people had to shift, people had to prioritize. So instead of buying properties or buying land, people shifted in other things, like maybe basic things. So you'll find that the income that we were getting in terms of selling the properties, that was cut off. Another challenge is about the fraud that you are talking about.
Fraud.
Yes, it has made people to fear agents. Yes, so you find that if people fear agents, then in turn you are not getting business. So you have
house hunting.
Yes, yeah, you have this. They will prefer to do their house hunting on their own. Another thing is that that as experience is a startup company, people will not believe in you. So you will not get business because they say that you have no experience, your company has no experience. So that trust you have, it takes time to be built. And then in terms of another challenge is property management. Property management is a broad field in real estate, and for you getting a person to give you like a house that you're collecting 1.2 million to manage is a problem, because they see like you don't have the muscles. Another challenge is about capital. Real estate requires huge capital investment. So if you doesn't have capital, you get a lot of challenges, because there are some landlords who, when they want to give you a property, they will tell you that you have to sort me all amount. You remain collecting your rent on your own. So those real estate companies that have a massive capital, they just pay their landlords and then they remain collecting rent.
Elaborate on that point. Why are you paying a landlord? Nah, you're the one who's marketing the house.
This is a property called, this is a segment that I'm calling property management. Property management, you collect rent on behalf of the landlord, and you agree on the date that you're going to deposit the money to the landlord's account, minus you minus your commissions and other fees. So for you to get such kind of projects, most of the landlords will tell you that I need my money on 5th. And as you know, there's no way you can collect all rent on 5th. So if you doesn't have capital to convince the landlord that I'll be depositing money in your account by 5th, and then for me, I'll remaining collecting the rent so that I cover the one that you have already deposited to the landlord.
So what I'm understanding, guys, is this is the thing. He's supposed to collect rent by 5th in layman's language. And we know what wengi 5th ata mi 5th sikwangi nimelipo, you know, so it's a bit difficult. So for him as the manager, he has to use his own funds, alipe landlord, ndio tenants wakimlipa ajirudishie hiyo do.
So that's how landlords will give you their business. Because landlord will tell you, if somebody is paying on 8th, on 10th, on 7th, that is not my problem. That is your problem. So as you can see, there are those people who will not be able to pay even on 5th, even on 6th, even on 7th, and it's a genuine case. So you cannot go and close the door for that person, and especially during this pandemic. So if you have capital, you can able to get a lot of business. But you can see now that that is one of my challenge. I don't have that capital intensive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, in terms of getting business, you're the one who goes to knock doors and introduce your company and ask for business. So how is that process so far?
So what you're supposed to do is that when it's a startup company, you need to do a lot of field work. Field work in terms of going to people, going out there, sourcing for business, going for properties that have already been done, those are ongoing. So you talk to foreman, you talk to caretakers, and you talk to people who can able to connect you to the decision makers. So you have to arm yourself with your company profile, other documentation, and maybe other documents that can explain on how what have you done. What have you done?
Portfolio.
Yeah, your portfolio. You have to have business cards. So when you go to those properties and you feel, you leave those documents to the side. So in that you'll find that with God grace, or pata bahati yako, unapata maybe unapigiwa simu, unaambiwa uliacha kitu yako hapa, we're interested to talk to you. Then they will tell you that can we have an appointment, organize meeting, unajipeleka hapo, unajieleza chenye unafanya, so unaangukia, unapata kamoja.
So this means you need to keep sourcing for business.
Yes.
Ukikaa tu
hauwezi pata biashara. Hii biashara si ya kukaa kwa ofisi. Hii ofisi yangu venye unaona hivi, ninakujanga hapa jioni kufanya kitu inaitwa data entry. But basically all the time I'm out there looking for business, movement. So far you can tell people it's a good investment. It's a good investment.
So nitauliza one final question. Sales, and you've tarmacked, Kevo has tarmacked for long, and I know this because we are related. There's so many people who are tarmacking, kuuza nyumba si rahisi, you know. And so what advice can you give them?
Okay. The advice that I can give is that in this business, number one, you have to be very patient. Then number two, you have to make yourself a brand. And then number three, believe in yourself. And then the final is continuous marketing. In real estate, it takes time for you to sell a house, but once you sell that house, the commission that you get will sustain you for a longer period. So keep struggling, keep believing in yourself, keep working on yourself, and I'm very sure that when that star will come, it will be yours.
So hata mimi nimelearn a lot, but just be patient, plan yourself, budget, invest in customer service and customer experience.
Yes.
And above all, you need to keep tarmacking and looking for businesses that you can be able to manage when it comes to real estate. Now, for this is part one of Kevin Maywaka's interview. So next week, we're gonna have a segment whereby he's gonna tell us more about the kinyozi business, because he also has a barber shop. So for now, kamakawa, I'll stop saying kamakawa though. For now, I am your host, Zoe'ivy, and this has been our guest,
Kevin Oyoko Maywaka, the director of Courtland Realtors Limited. This company is situated in Ruaka. We are at Karaoke Drive, Upendo House, 2nd floor, suite number 3. Check us on Facebook page, Courtland Realtors Limited. God bless you.
God bless you all. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely week.